Combining a team of reporters, columnists, and commentators.
Don't you ever talk about me!
Are you serious?
Jack Ebling has brought thought-provoking discussion.
What are you doing? That's a damn coaching mistake.
Opinion.
The customer is the one who decides when the future gets here.
Oh, no! The ship is on fire!
You have to check the report.
Are you kidding me?
That game was fixed.
And overall infotainment.
I'll take Jim Harbaugh.
What has he done?
Crazy Cooter coming at you.
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
Thanks, big fella.
Don't you ever come back here again.
No arguments. Those are called ass tunes.
So buckle up.
You talking to me?
It's time for The Drive with Jack Ebling.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Great afternoon, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight, a radio network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob, back in studio today, the beautiful Spotlight facility, 105 West Allegan, 1 block southeast of the state capitol. Rob, 93 degrees presently in Greater Lansing and mostly cloudy. Imagine what it would be if it were sunny. And if that's not warm enough for you, stay tuned. Tomorrow it's going to be 2 degrees hotter. So we have tons to talk about, including the Detroit Tigers and what a matchup tonight. Yankee Stadium, you have Tarik Skubal on the mound against the likely Cy Young winner. Be 3 Cy Young winners in a row if Cam Schlittler does what he has been doing thus far. It's terrific, and it should be quite a matchup for the Tigers as they try to stretch their streak from 1 to 2 games. Meanwhile, the Yankees are plummeting, losing 4 in a row, Rob, to the Boston Red Sox and looking absolutely horrific last night against the Tigers. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the World Cup. Yes, we are. And a match this afternoon with Norway and the Ivory Coast. We're going to talk about the NBA, the possibility that LeBron James can become the first player in NBA history to win championships with 4 different franchises. Well, he is not going to be back with the Lakers. He's let them know that. And he did that just after the Lakers gave Bronny. Locked him in for his contract. They said, oh, that's good. I'm glad you did that, but I won't be here. And don't be surprised if he winds up with the Golden State Warriors. That would be very interesting. Also, Rob, 1 month from today, exactly 1 month from today, we will be wrapping up our sessions in Chicago, Big Ten kickoff meetings. Michigan State will be in day 2 of the 3. That will be on the 29th. Michigan and Indiana, your beloved Hoosiers, will be on Thursday, the 30th. So we have that to look forward to. It'll be here before you know it. We have a great show planned for you, and we want to start with a man for all seasons. Also happens to be my best friend, and sometimes he even admits that. We're talking about Marty Makinen, a guy I got to know back when we were in 7th grade at Lola Valley Junior High, and then he took off to North Farmington, but we have remained very close over the years. And Marty, you've seen a lot of Tigers baseball. You've seen a better pitching matchup than the one tonight with Skubal and Schlittler?
I don't remember one. It should be a good one and a great chance to showcase the talents of Skubal, who's been really good, but not at his peak since he's come back from his elbow surgery.
Is that to be expected? Do you think that we thought, okay, well, Skubal's back, vintage Tarik, he's going to come in, he'll be just like the guy we saw the last 2 years. Is that unfair?
Yeah, it's probably a little unfair. But, you know, he's any one of the top pitchers is not right at his best each and every game, except maybe Bob Gibson back in 1968.
Right. Well, Skubal had that one loose particle, which was removed with the nanosurgery. It's not like he had a back problem or a sore foot, right?
Yeah, and I can speak to those latter two, that's for sure.
I'm still trying to figure out with your back injury, soon to be corrected with the surgical procedure middle of next month, that you go from having a back or butt problem, and somehow this thing has worked down nerve-wise. I think it should be ready to leave right through your toes anytime.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it just shoots right out through the toes and goes away. But I understand that LeBron James, who you were mentioning, had a similar problem, a back problem that radiated down his leg last year. And that's what I've got. So,
How did he get his corrected?
Same kind. I have the same kind of game that LeBron has.
Yeah, and similar bank accounts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw something very interesting yesterday, and I said, you got to be kidding me. But you might know the answer to this. There are tons and tons and tons of basketball millionaires. There are only four players with NBA pedigrees who have ever been billionaires. How many of the four can you name?
Let me see. Well, I would guess that LeBron might be one.
He is.
Michael Jordan might be another.
That's two.
Michael Jordan. Yep. How about Dave Bing?
No, not quite. Not quite. Almost not quite. Multi-millionaire, but not a billionaire.
How about Kevin Durant?
No, he's not there yet either. I'll give you the third one because you would get it very soon anyway. See if you can get the fourth. If you don't know it, you'll never get it. The third one is Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Is now officially a billionaire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The fourth one was not
who's that?
An all-time great. Did not make the all-time top 75, but probably had the best business acumen of any former NBA player, and he was a world champion. Junior Bridgman.
Junior Bridgman.
Right.
Wow.
From Louisville, and went on and played with Lou Alcindor with the Bucks when Oscar Robertson came and won a championship there. But late in his career in the NBA, he decided that, hey, I got to deal with life after. I'm not going to be doing this for very long. And so he got into franchising. And he started with Wendy's, working all the jobs, working the window, working the line, was a cook, did everything you could do, eventually owned that Wendy's and 450 others. Went from there into Fridays, right? And then after he got tired with franchising, he sold all that for about close to $300 million, about $270 million bucks. And then he said, I think I'm going to open up a Coca-Cola bottling plant. And he has a region, and anytime you touch anything that's any Coke product in that area, part of it's going to Junior Bridgman and his estate. He just died recently, but he died a very, very, very wealthy man. Yeah,
it would have been tough to spend $1 billion during a lifetime.
Yeah, it would be. I would like to try, but actually, it'd be tough to spend a lot less than that. I always ask people, and you'd be a good one, having been an international economist. Yeah. If you were suddenly wealthy beyond your means, I don't mean Elon Musk wealthy, but let's say you had $100 million. What would you do?
Buy a Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah. Probably find somebody who could get that pain out of your foot, right?
Yeah, that's right. It would be very tough to spend it all, but I would certainly spend a lot of it on going to big-time sports events because you know that I love to go to live sports events. And there are some that are out of my reach, even though I'm not a poor man at all.
What would you pay for a World Cup final ticket if Team USA shocked the world and made it there?
Well, if you're giving me the $1 billion,
I'm giving you $100 million. That's all you get. You only get $100 million.
$100 $100 million.
Yeah. Would you do it?
I'd probably pay the price. What is it? Like $50,000?
Yeah.
For a
Nothing,
ticket?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nothing.
How much would you pay
Exchange.
for a ticket to watch the Detroit Lions in their first Super Bowl appearance? Hey, we watched them in the NFC Championship, sitting there in Santa Clara, thinking at halftime, "This is it. This is it." And then we met back at the car, and it wasn't it. So
that wasn't it. No.
What would you pay for a chance to watch the Lions play? Oh, really? Let's make this good. How about the Lions and the Browns?
Yeah. A redux of 1957.
That's right.
Sure. I mean, if I've got that $100 million, I'd easily spend $50,000 on that. Yeah.
This
for
is
a nosebleed seat.
This conversation is getting a little away from sports, but I'm kind of intrigued by the direction. You're familiar with the Giving Pledge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a pact that billionaires, mostly, maybe some multi-millionaires, have decided that they're going to give away their fortunes, right? They're not just going to hand it down to their kids if they have it. They're going to teach them to work for a living. They're not going to make them live under a bridge, but they're not going to just hand them generational wealth. And the idea is to give their money away. And Mackenzie Scott, right? She is Jeff Bezos' former wife, ex-wife, ex-wife, right? And she's managed to give away $26 billion, which I think is the record. But Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are moving in that direction, and there are others who are determined that by the time they die, other people are going to have this money. Certain charities are going to have it. Research is going to have it. So it's going to be put to good use. It's not just going to be sitting in an account so that they can count their money and see how much money they have and how mighty they really are. Yeah. Do you know anybody who is in the Giving Pledge? You know some people who are high rollers.
Well, other than Larry Herman, no.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's in the Giving Pledge. He's the highest roller that I know. Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about giving us headaches. I'm talking about giving away money. Do you know how much Larry has given to charity? I heard the number. It's amazing.
It's a very big number, but I'm not at liberty to disclose it. Yeah. I think somebody Fred Heumann is a part of that, isn't he?
Yeah, but it spent a lot of that money at fast food restaurants, so that doesn't really it's not the same. Yeah. I want to talk to you a little bit more about the Tigers and where they are headed. We had this conversation earlier. When does the sale begin? Should it be in progress now? I'm thinking, especially if you're going to rent Tarik Skubal and you have no intention of trying to re-sign him long term, you want to get him for as many games as possible. You don't want to wait until the trade deadline. Do you think those discussions are in progress? Do you think the Tigers are evaluating, waiting till the last second, hoping they can get a 8-game winning streak here and get back in it?
I don't think the Tigers are waiting, but there is some merit to wait and pit teams that really could benefit from somebody like Skubal against one another and get them to raise the bidding and have that FOMO, the fear of missing out. So to exploit that. So clearly, I mean, for a team that is going to trade for a Skubal, getting him sooner is better than getting him later. But from the Tigers' point of view, if they can get the bidding frenzy going, all the better, and wait to the last minute. So, but I'm sure there are some teams that have already said, if you're going to move him, we'd be interested.
Right.
And those preliminary talks ought to be going on. But the Tigers should be being ready to move a lot of other players who will be valuable. Gleyber Torres is the guy who the Tigers definitely should move at the trade deadline if they're going to move players, which I think they almost certainly will. because the Tigers are loaded at second base.
I know they're not going to move Kevin McGonigal and Dylan Dingler unless it's an offer that we can't imagine. They are the keys to the future. But what about someone like Casey Mize, who was incredible last night? Only 3 pitchers, I believe, in history had done what he did last night with 7 or more innings, 1 hit, no walks, striking out at least 10. Pretty incredible outing, as well as he has ever pitched in the major leagues. Do you think the Tigers will be moving him?
I do think they will, and I think it's to the Tigers' advantage that he's pitching really well, which makes you think, oh, maybe we should keep him. But it's also raising his value. To other teams because they have, and I think they can turn players like Mize, Skubal, Torres, Finnegan, and even your best friend on the team, Jack Flaherty, into a lot of assets, and some of which will be starting pitching that's not very far away from the major leagues. So, and they're going to get Jackson Jobe back from injury soon.
Yes.
They've got Melton, who's pitched really well.
Yeah.
They've got Framber Valdez, who's pitched maybe not as well as they thought, but still reasonably well.
Cater Montero.
Right?
Yeah.
So they have quite a bit of starting pitching, even though you often need 7 starters through the course of a season.
Yeah. One thing about the Jack Flaherty possible move, my commitment never to be in the stands to watch him pitch again goes out the window if he's not with the Tigers.
Right.
So if he winds up with the Cubs, I may just have to drive to Wrigley Field just to see if this still holds or not.
Right.
I can see that. What about our frequent listener and guest Steve Waite's favorite Tiger, Riley Green? Would you expect that he could be moved?
I think that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
I think so. And I also thought that Torkelson might be moved as well, although they have a shortage of right-handed hitters.
Yeah.
And that would take one away.
Right.
So that's the only thing that would make me not have Torkelson on the market.
Yeah.
But if I could get a good return for him, he could go too.
Yeah. Well, if they did move Spencer Torkelson and Gleyber Torres, and now suddenly you have even more of a dearth of right-handed hitting, that means that you could see Jahmai Jones every game, Marty.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a thrill?
So what happens?
But the Tigers have a wealth of talent in the near minor leagues who are hitters, mostly infielders.
Yes.
But obviously they could probably play the outfield too if need be. Of course, Max Clark is a center fielder, so they do have one of their top talents in the minor leagues is an outfielder. So they should use the opportunity if they are going to be sellers to sort of rebalance their team, get some more pitching back, even if it's just not major league pitching, but not too far away minor league pitching, and some more right-handed hitting.
Yeah, I think there's one other guy. I can't believe I'm saying this, Marty, but if I were a general manager in the major leagues, I might be looking for a guy like this. Hao-Yu Lee has been very good lately, and he's been better in the field. He plays a lot of positions. I think you can win games with guys like that. Yeah,
I mean, he's really come on lately in terms of hitting. He doesn't have much power, but he has a little bit.
Right.
But they have such a depth of infield talent in the near minor leagues that he would be somebody you could definitely get a return for, especially since he's hitting well. So it's good for the players like him and like Skubal, who's likely to go, unfortunately, to showcase how good and how valuable they could be.
I heard the
some other
Tigers.
team.
The Tigers will definitely be in the market for a proven closer next year. They tried it with Kenley Jansen. They decided they wanted someone a little older than Kenley Jansen.
Yeah. Now the Tigers have ended the careers of a lot of older closers. If memory serves.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. All right. I want to talk to you for just a minute about the Pistons and the NBA.
Uh-huh.
And you have a chance to watch the Washington Wizards and the Nationals as a season ticket holder for both of those teams. I don't know what your combined winning percentage is watching those teams, but it can't be good. But thinking about where the Wizards are now, it looks like LeBron James is going to be joining Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Don't know about Jimmy Butler. But going to be moving from L.A. to the Golden State Warriors. And now I'm hearing Anthony Davis could also be there. They're going to rename their team the Golden State Geezers. What do you make of this? And could Bron become the first NBA player to win championships with 4 different franchises?
I would be delighted if they'd assemble the Geezers and include Anthony Davis and give the Wizards some kind of young talent in return.
Yeah.
But I have real doubts that team's going to win a championship, even with Anthony, the great talent that they would have assembled.
Yeah.
But they're all definitely on the downhill side.
Yeah.
And players like Davis hardly ever plays more than about 50 games in a season.
Yeah, I would love to know what the Warriors would plan to do to bolster their training staff if they make those acquisitions, because those guys are going to be very busy.
Yeah, absolutely. But it would be interesting for the NBA to have a team like that and see what they do.
Looks like you might be in our fair state in late August if your back surgery goes as anticipated. You could be here for the Tigers-Dodgers. You could see Tarik Skubal pitch against the Tigers in late August, and then you could be up at Walloon Lake and come back here and see Michigan State's opener against Toledo with Larry Herman on September 4th, and then Michigan and Western Michigan the following night in Ann Arbor. You'd be making up for lost time with some appearances right in a row.
Yep, and I need to because, you've mentioned that I'm a Nats season plan holder because of my condition with my back and my leg. I have not been to a Nats game this year, and they have a winning record.
Yes, how about that? Maybe it's the reverse Flaherty thing. They're going to tell you to stay away.
That's right.
James Wood will say, "You can't come. I'm doing well. You can't. Not going to do that."
Yeah, James Wood is a real talent, so I'd like to have more chances to see him.
Rob, Marty Makinen also is the master of running pools. I mean swimming pools. Although today that's not a bad idea. But in terms of pools, prediction pools, the NCAA tournament pool he runs is famous and has been going on forever. And the World Cup pool that you have now, we get daily updates on this. And I'm not even a soccer guy, but I am reading all of these updates to prepare for my son and grandson and coming in. I'm actually going to meet them Friday in Boston, Zach and Logan at Logan International Airport. My grandson thinks it's pretty cool. I'm 8 years old, and they already named an airport for him. But when you... Not bad, right? Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
But what we saw today, it was Norway, a 2-1 win over the Ivory Coast, right?
That's right. And Norway was a slight favorite, so it was not a big surprise. But Norway's big star and goal scorer is his name is Erling Haaland.
Yes.
And throughout most of the game, he was relatively quiet.
Yeah.
Didn't have many chances to score, but then the inevitable happened in the 86th minute out of 90 when one of his teammates, Patrick Berg, just crossed a ball right in front of the net, and somehow Holland was all by himself, and all he had to do was just tap it in, and that's it. 2-1. Holland is now the second leading scorer in the World Cup behind Lionel Messi, who everybody knows.
Right.
And he's only one goal behind Messi.
Wow.
So,
well, Holland is a big fella, and don't you think Holland should be playing for Netherlands?
yeah, that would seem to be the ideal in terms of marketing. Yes.
Yeah. It's like some guy whose last name is Met, and he's playing for the Phillies. I don't quite understand why they did that, but in terms of Team USA now getting ready for its first game in the knockout round, a round of 32 against Bosnia-Herzegovina, looks like that's a winnable match. No guarantees, but how far can Team USA go?
Well, they should win their game against Bosnia and Herzegovina, but even though there are two names to that country, you only get credit for one win if you beat them. And then in the next round, their likely opponent, but not certain, is Belgium. And Belgium's one of the very good European teams, so that will be a much tougher game for the U.S. to win. But it's winnable. The U.S. has played very well. Christian Pulisic is a real world-class talent for the U.S. team, and Folarin Balogun is also a big talent for the American team. So they could win that game. Beyond that would really be exceptional. And even beating Belgium would be an impressive win for the United States.
Marty, before the World Cup began, what kind of odds do you think you could have gotten if you had said, Team USA is going to be around longer than Germany and Netherlands, and we've seen them go out in the first game. Wouldn't necessarily want to be one of those players heading home. Be sure that your dog is locked up, protected, and your house is secure. But for a lot of players now who are going to be dealing with this and the passion of fans as they go home, it's going to be a pretty tough way to lose. I'm just glad that Turkey got one win out of it. Yeah.
So it is very tough for those teams where the expectations are so high.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that the U.S. is going to beat Bosnia and Herzegovina because they could go down just as Germany did yesterday. So don't count those chickens before we've got them in there on their nests and laying those eggs.
Yes. Well, we'll let Jeff Kaminsky do that. In terms of today with Norway, I think I asked you this earlier. How is Norway so good at soccer compared to neighboring Finland, your native land, at least your family's? Just about anything ending in N-E-N, you kind of know what that's all about. But how come soccer, is it just weather related? It seems like the weather must be pretty close to the same in Norway.
Yeah. The Finns concentrate on other things like how long you can stay in the sauna as opposed to team sports.
Hockey, right?
Like soccer. Yeah.
A lot of good hockey players.
Of course, lots of good hockey players. So anything involving extreme cold or extreme heat is what they're good at.
All right.
But Norway is really an exceptional country athletically because they dominate the Winter Olympics. They're very strong in the Summer Olympics, and they're good at things like at soccer too. They punch way above their weight. You got to give them credit.
All right. Last thing for you, Marty. For $100 of Larry Herman's money, give me the exact final score tonight Tigers in Yankee Stadium?
Tigers in Yankee Stadium. I think tonight it's going to be a tight game, 1-1 going into the 8th inning, and then the Tigers bullpen will blow up and it'll end up 6-1.
6-1. I think I've seen those relief pitchers earlier this year. Marty, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. And, hey, we'll see you before the summer's up.
Sounds good, Jack. Thank you.
All right. Marty Makinen. It was Marty, Rob, that Jay Green and I visited while he was flat on his back at home. And it was a major effort for him to get from the couch to the bathroom at that point. All right. We will be back in just a minute. And Bluebelly Tom Crawford will be with us. We're going to talk a little bit about Big Ten football and more, and what we'll be doing 1 month from today, coming up on The Drive with Jack. Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graph of Okemos. Spring is here, and so is good news for lease customers.
You got that right, Jack. Pretty exciting news, both at Nissan and Chevy. We have a lease pull ahead starting right now. So if you're bored with your lease, too many miles, close to too many miles, you just want to get out because of a high payment, bring it in. We'll get you out of your lease and get you into something more exciting.
Stop and see Matt and the gang at Graph of Okemos. They're making friends.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our team of school bus drivers and attendants. Visit deanjobs.com to see all openings. Dean Transportation provides paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license, increased starting pay, comprehensive benefits, and flexible schedules with no weekend shifts. No experience needed. Apply today at deanjobs.com and train for back to school season. That's DEAN jobs.com.
Jeremy, I gotta ask, how do you always know where to go on the weekends?
Easy. One North. It's basically my cheat code.
What's going on there?
Live music every Friday and Saturday night, DJ trivia during the week. There's always something happening, Jack.
So I don't have to keep texting you for plans?
Nope. Just follow all 3 One North locations on social media. Lineups, times, everything's right there.
That might actually simplify my life.
That's the goal. When you're looking for something to do, One North's the move.
All right. See you there this weekend.
Are you passionate about college sports? Foster Swift Sports Talk is your go-to podcast dedicated to addressing the hottest topics in college athletics, including recruiting practices, NIL, the trade portal, collectives, and revenue generation.
Join us as we bring you insights from student athletes, college head coaches, administrators, and other industry leaders as they share their experiences in this rapidly changing arena.
Our mission is to share information and help educate student athletes, parents, coaches, and other stakeholders with the knowledge, resources, and strategies they need to make informed decisions and maximize each college athlete's potential for long-term success.
Check out our latest episode where we're joined by Stephen Bianco to discuss his work at 42U and working with universities around the country.
Like and subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook pages to watch all of our episodes, or you can give us a listen on any of your favorite podcasting platforms by simply searching Foster Swift Sports Talk. Until next time, I'm your host, Dave Russell.
Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob. Rob, thanks for showing the Tigers how to handle the Yankees. New York had beaten Detroit the last 2 games of the set at Comerica, and then they just saw what the Red Sox did to New York and said, well, we'll just do the same thing. Last night, jumping out to a 7-0 lead, and can't wait for the pitching matchup tonight. I want to welcome in our next guest, Bluebelly Tom Crawford, my broadcast partner for 24-plus years. The most frequent panelist we have had on Press Pass. And we're going to be doing some very exciting things moving forward. We had a couple sessions to talk about that earlier this week. Tom, you realize that we are exactly 1 month away from the end of Big Ten football media days. We are going to be in Chicago the 29th and the 30th. On the 30th, Michigan will be there, as will the Indiana Hoosiers. Seem like it's time for football season already?
Yeah, although, 90 degrees doesn't exactly get you in the, the football spirit, if you know what I mean. Right, but although September can be some hot days, I can just imagine that noon kickoff on September 12th, Oklahoma and Michigan will probably be 85 degrees. That's just the way things go. But no, I'm enjoying summer. I'm getting back water skiing. I'm getting the water. Yeah. I'm going to embrace that. We got a holiday weekend upcoming. But no, if I can't deny, I think football all the time. I watch. Yeah. I'm watching, Saturdays in the South, feature on SEC football last night, things like that, and following some of the depth charts of how experts foresee that they think the Michigan team will play out, and so workouts are going and things like that. I mean, I think SEC days is really early July. That's just like a week or so away. They spread that out. So I think that's July 7th. So crazy. We're going to be talking college football once July hits.
And Tom, I had the opportunity, I would say maybe the privilege, to write the Big Ten previews for Street and Smith's magazine for close to 15 years. And I also did a lot of
what an honor.
Thank you. A lot of preseason things for Athlon and Lindy's, and we're going to have some people on who have those kinds of publications moving forward. Brett Cincia, and also, there are 2 or 3 others actually. I don't want to give all their names, but we're going to have a chance to talk about all of that moving forward. I think back 23 months ago, and you and I were sitting in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium listening to this wacko representing Indiana, and we were laughing and shaking our heads and said, man, this Cignetti guy, is he in for a rude awakening? Didn't quite work out that way.
Boy, talk about the last laugh. He certainly got. Yeah, we were in the back. We usually sit in the front, but maybe we thought this guy's not worth us sitting in the front. So we're sitting there watching him, snickering, and I remember coming to you. I said, "Man, that is one self-absorbed dude, man." Yeah. I remember that quote because he was, and that maybe it was even before the. His final salutation, Google me, I win. Yes. Which he's done a number of times since that, but that's the first time I had heard it. Yeah. When someone asked the question, how do you see yourself worthy of, a Big Ten coaching job? He's coming from James Madison, things like that. I'm not sure how that question was framed, but very competent guy. But yeah, I mean, Indiana now, I mean, they're good. I mean, I think they're around to stay with as long as he's there. I mean, we're going to find out in late October when the Hoosiers come to Ann Arbor how good they are and how good Michigan is with Kyle Whittingham, but the expectations are high, and so it's just not Michigan, Ohio State, and a couple other suspects. It's Indiana. They're at the top of the heap right now.
If you had to guess right now, Tom, do you think Michigan wins that game?
Yeah, because I'm all twisted up in this mindset. Well, they're at home. Yeah. I mean, I look at it the other way, Jack. I figure this team by that time will have fine-tuned any of the hiccups they've had by late October, the 24th, 25th, whatever that day is. Yeah. And I think they'll win that game. It's payback. I think the games the games they lose, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm fairly confident they're going to be hugely challenged to win. Oregon, because of their defense in Eugene in late November, and then the final game, or 2 weeks after that, Ohio State and Columbus. That's 2 losses I think are going to happen. Now, the key game for Michigan, huge game for Michigan, is the Oklahoma game. They should win the game. It's payback. They're at home, and there's enough players, and they got a veteran coach. They should win the game. That's either the 9-3 or 10-2. I look at the Indiana as a win, to answer your question.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Indiana also looks at that as a win.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course they would. They should.
Do you think Michigan will be favored against Oklahoma, Heisman Trophy candidate?
I think they will, unless they absolutely, have a disaster and lose to Western Michigan in the opener on Saturday night, September the 5th, or there's injuries or something, God forbid, or something like that. No, I think they'll be Michigan. You know how Vegas goes. There's so many Michigan fans that bet with their hearts, and there's a lot of Michigan fans, and not with their minds. And so, the casinos have to, allocate, or accommodate that passion, that balance things out. You know how betting goes. So I think a lot of Michigan fans will think they're going to win, and I think they'll be a slight favorite in that game.
Michigan is a favorite right now. Caesar Sportsbook.
Okay, you know more than I do.
2.5 points. I checked it last night.
2.5. That's slight. Yep.
All right, I want to give you a scenario here, and you're the only person I would ask this question this way, because I know how you feel about the Michigan-Ohio State series compared to the Michigan-Michigan State series. A lot of Wolverines look at that last game of the year as being the most important because it's had so many championship implications. You have always put more stock in Michigan State, and you've been telling Wolverines fans for a long time how important that game is, even when they took it for granted. But let's say Michigan loses to Oklahoma. Okay, so it has 1 loss entering the Big Ten season. And it's losing at Oregon. So it has 2 losses. And it's going to lose 1 other game and be 9-3. Would you rather have it be a loss to Ohio State and a win over Michigan State, or a loss to Michigan State, which then with a win over Ohio State would get Michigan one of the last spots in the playoff? In other words, would you rather have a win over Ohio State, a loss to Michigan State, and sneak into the playoff, or have the loss coming to Ohio State and not make the playoff?
Well, when you threw that caveat in there about in the playoff, I mean, that's the bottom line. So I would rather have that. I mean, if you take out the playoff aspect to it, I'd rather have Michigan beat Michigan State than Ohio State, and there's a lot of personal ingredients in my situation to that, being brought up in this town, going to Michigan, all this. All my friends, we've gone over that story chapter and verse, and so it's more personal to me. I'll never forget my fraternity brothers. My senior year, Michigan lost to Michigan State, 24-15.
Yes,
and
remember well. Yes,
and of course you do. And it's like I was just livid. And don't worry about it. We beat Ohio State. We're going, who gives a crap? They'll beat Ohio State, and they'll still, go to the Rose Bowl, which they did.
They did.
They beat Ohio State. I was down in Columbus for that game. But it's just, it's devastating for me to lose to Michigan State.
Yeah.
Because those fans are all around me.
Yeah.
It's who you deal with.
Including the woman you sleep with.
Yeah, absolutely. And a daughter, no less as well. But it's like, for those in the bantering type of dialogue, and I've tried to simmer that with some folks, but that's, I don't deal with a lot of Ohio State. So I don't have to encounter their wrath. And that's big with me.
Tom, do you know the only first-year coach who has beaten a non-first-year coach in this series in the last 80 years? the Michigan State, there's only one first-year coach who has beaten a returning coach. Do you know what that is?
First-year coach. Okay. Well, the only ones I always remember the Saban and Lloyd Carr thing. 95.
That's right. 95. They were both first-year coaches.
Boy,
same thing with 2 years ago, right? You had two first-year coaches. You had Jonathan Smith was the loser, right?
Yeah.
So Sharon was the winner. But somebody had to win. There were two first-year coaches. But there's one other, and that's the situation this year, right? It's going to be Pat Fitzgerald and Kyle Whittingham, two first-year coaches. So this will be the fourth time that a first-year coach will have won in this series, his debut. But three times there was no choice. One had to win or the other was going to win. They were both first-year coaches.
Yeah.
But there's one other time that a first-year coach beat an established coach, and a pretty good coach, I think.
Lord, I mean, I guess you got to go way back. I mean, I can't. I mean, because Moeller's first year, he lost to George Perlis.
That's right.
In 1990.
That's
I mean,
right.
that's just the opposite. I don't know. In the interest of time on the drive with Jack, why don't you tell me?
Oh well, the answer is Mel Tucker beating Jim Harbaugh.
Very good.
Right. That's the only time that a first-year coach in this series has beaten a veteran coach.
Wow.
Yeah. So this will be the fourth time anyway.
That was a riveting game, I'm telling you. That was crazy.
Ricky White said hello. Yes. So what are you looking forward to the most? I know you want to spend as much time as you can with Kyle Whittingham and the Michigan players. Who are the three Michigan players who will be there?
Oh, God, you caught me off guard.
I saw it the other day.
That was announced. I know.
Bryce Underwood is. He will be there.
Bryce Underwood is. Yeah. I'm not sure who the other two is.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Michigan State, we'll have quarterback Alessio Milivojevic, linebacker Jordan Hall, who you're going to love Jordan Hall. It's the kind of guy you would want your daughter to marry. And safety Nikai Martinez is a very good player if he can ever stay healthy. So, that's the Michigan State threesome.
You know, they announced these earlier than normal, haven't they?
Yeah,
I mean...
Yeah, the league announced them. And each team was starting to filter it out. And finally the league said, okay, here's the list. Here's all 54.
Okay, I got the other two because Jordan Marshall, the running back.
That's right.
That's a good, and then Trey Pierce, the D tackle, or the other two along with Bryce. So those are good. But a lot of times you get in this assumption, those guys must be the captains, and sometimes there's that happens. But I'm not sure how this is going to play out this year.
Tom, I have never spoken to Kyle Whittingham, so I'm looking forward to that, and I always look forward to having time with Pat Fitzgerald. Going to have a lot of it this year, so that's going to be a definite upgrade regardless of what happens on the field. But I always look forward to this, and we got into this the other night with Rico Beard, who went into the Graham Couch I Hate Media Days thing, right? And I really enjoy Media Days. I learn a lot from Media Days. I get a chance to talk to people I never get a chance to hear from. I get a chance to know coaches in a different way. Players, you can observe things, and if you ask good questions, you can learn a lot. But I don't know why some media think that it's a waste of time.
Well, and I'm not accusing Rico of being late. I mean, Rico goes to press conferences at Michigan State, so I give him credit for that. Yeah. But he doesn't do the media days. I don't, And you're right. I talk to players from nondescript players, not household name players from other teams, because they're just right there.
Yeah.
And I go, why not? As opposed to getting in a 4-tier. Right. 4-layer scrum around, a prominent player. Why not take advantage of, a linebacker at Penn State sometimes? I mean, and just get a feel for what that program is like. How for example, at Penn State, Matt Campbell, how's that transition been for those players? you learn a lot indeed. And then I also learn from other media, from other schools that I've gotten to know on the different platforms. And, it's totally a missed opportunity if you don't go. And I just like hanging around football coaches. I mean, I just do. And to say that, it's all, I think you nailed it on the head. It's how you frame the question.
Yeah.
And you have to put thought through that.
Yeah.
You gotta just don't ask a question to hear yourself.
Right.
Ask a question.
Right.
Try to find out something that fans would want to know. 'Cause that's the role in media, in my opinion. There's an area of level of responsibility. You're the liaison between the program, the players, and then the fans. And you're trying to provide input that they can't access.
And if you come up with a thought-provoking question, I don't mean you have to try to reinvent the wheel here, but if you come up with something that they haven't been asked 6 times, a lot of times they'll look at you and they'll give you a really good answer because they're tired of talking about their left tackles.
Yeah. And the other direction, and I always joke with, Joe Rexroad many years ago at an NCAA tournament was always teasing everybody, teasing people who would say, talk about blah, blah, just talk about question. And it's kind of, Joe and I agree that that's kind of the lazy way.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. Why don't you ask them a specific one that leads to an open-ended response is the key. And that's hard. It's hard. You're really good at it. I try to be like you. I try to be like some of the other veterans. Our mutual friend, Bob Winowski, Wojo, always asks really, really good questions.
Yes.
He's really good at
Fred
it.
Fred Hewitt asks good questions, although he asks leading questions. But yes.
Yep.
Yep. Rob, when you see Tom at Big Ten Media Days, Jim Harbaugh didn't like to see Tom at Big Ten Media Days, but he asked questions that, they were good questions. They made you think, and they weren't always what the coaches were expecting or what the athletic communication staff was hoping they would hear. So I appreciate that. We used to have a deal,
and it's
Tom.
not gotcha. It's not gotcha questions.
No.
That's not. No. I'm trying to, or everybody should be trying to learn something that has not been disclosed
You're
yet.
Trying to gain information. You have a great opportunity to do that, and you have free reign to ask whatever you want to anyone you want. You have roundtables where we are on Radio Row. We have coaches being brought to us, players being paraded by. Do you want this guy? Do you want that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Plus other media members, CBS, NBC, ESPN. Everyone is there. Big Ten Network has got an army there. So it's easy to get that kind of input as well, plus all the print journalists. When I started covering Michigan State full-time, Tom, it was for the last 5 years of what they called the Skywriters Tour.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to stick about 20 of us on this little plane, and we would fly from campus to campus. We had one day where it was a stayover on Sunday, and each school that got the stayover day on Saturday would try to outdo the previous ones and, whatever we wanted. Once we were at Wisconsin, and Elroy Hirsch, the athletic director, said, "Hey, what do you guys want to do tomorrow?" And some smart ass in the back says, "Well, we want to play golf at Nakoma. I suppose you can work that out through Andy North. And then we want to do this and I'll do that." And we find out that he did. And,
oh my.
And we're out there playing where they play these major tournaments and, everything. But that's kind of the way it works. So for 5 years, I was lucky to get in on the tail end of that, including being there the day that Lynn Henning came across the table and tried to strangle Lynn Henning. Chris Spielman, Chris Spielman, tried to do that.
Wow.
And then we got into the kickoff and media days as we know it now. So I had a chance to do that, and I used to approach it differently, Tom, than they do now. You find the Michigan writers, and they're all grouped around the Michigan players, and they're all grouped around Kyle Whittingham. The Michigan State media will be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I never did that. I would stick a recorder on the table with Perlis or Saban or D'Antonio, and I just let it go. I didn't care. just so I was protected on that. And then I would spend the next 3 hours roaming around and talking to people. You know, I became pretty good friends with Hayden Fry and Kirk Ferentz and people like that.
Ferentz.
Yeah, by doing that and getting to know a little bit about them, they got to know you. Back in those days, Tom, if you did it the right way, you would have coaches giving you their home phone number.
Right.
And nowadays, don't even know.
You bring up an interesting. I'm glad you brought this up. The media scrum around in these little, kind of you're sitting in a box. The coaches are, and you move around. And I remember the Harbaugh the first 2 years, every year with Harbaugh and with Sharon. You know, there'd be media waiting there a half hour before he was to arrive.
Yeah.
To get a good vantage point, to get their video set up and all this stuff.
Right.
And there'd be other available coaches. Pat Fitzgerald, literally, when he was at Northwestern, my God, it would be like him and like three of us.
Right.
Four of us. And I remember with Pat Fitzgerald, it was like, I think I got 5 questions in with him.
Yeah.
Because it was like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Learn so much. That's why I think, and I've said this, I think Michigan State has a really good coach in Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
From what I learned, how he operates his program at Northwestern, his philosophy about life, about motivating kids, I think they got a good get there, and I think Michigan State fans should give him time. He's going to need it.
Yeah.
And maybe not this first year, but this is a good long-term hire, in my opinion.
You talked to Fitz so long that he thought you were a Northwestern beat writer.
I mean, it's almost like, you feel bad for the guy. He's not getting many customers, you know?
Right. We will be down there for days 2 and 3 in Chicago. Looking forward to that. Tom, one last thing. I think we can tease our listeners and viewers on YouTube a little bit, and we'll get you in the studio some point to really talk about this. But we're doing something this year that I'm excited about, and these pregame to school preview podcasts. I think they're going to drop on Thursday nights, previewing Michigan and Michigan State as really only we can with our 140 years of experience here.
Right.
And then we're going to have post-game podcasts on Saturday, maybe 2 in one day, a lot depending on the kickoff times. But I'm really looking forward to that, and I think so are many of our listeners and now some of our advertisers.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of positive feedback on it and traction on sponsorships and things, and I'm just so super excited of our planning, and we're barely scratching the surface of the ideas we can go with it. And I love the preview. Everybody's a winner on Thursday night, right? No grumbling. Your team, haven't played yet, and especially early on in the season, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll probably most likely do those in remote venues.
Yeah. If you want positivity, you want the Thursday night podcast. If you want to see misery and angst, then you want to tune in for some of that. Yes, that's right. That's right. Reality for the postgame. Tom, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you very soon.
Always a pleasure, Jack. Thanks for having me on.
Tom Crawford. He is also a cancer conqueror, double cancer conqueror here in the last year or so. All right. We will be right back, and we're going to talk with Jim Hios, one of Mid-Michigan's premier personal injury attorneys going back decades. But he is also one of the all-time Detroit Tigers fans. And I hear from Jim almost every night about the Tigers and their bullpen or about Jahmai Jones. Every once in a while, he's happy. Most of the time this year, not so much. We'll also talk about Michigan State basketball, and he's on the inner circle here with this, Rob. So he can get into places where even the media can't get, right? He can go in and watch practices that aren't Moneyball. We'll be right back talking with Jim Hios next on The Drive with Jack.
Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our team of school bus drivers and attendants. Visit deanjobs.com to see all openings. Dean Transportation provides paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license, increased starting pay, comprehensive benefits, and flexible schedules with no weekend shifts. No experience needed. Apply today at deanjobs.com and train for back to school season. That's DEAN jobs.com.
Jeremy, it's finally patio season.
About time. And not just any patio, Amy. One North patios.
We're talking sunshine, cold drinks, and that perfect I should have left work early vibe.
Lansing, East Lansing, Jackson, each one has got its own patio personality.
Whether it's brunch in the sun, happy hour with friends, or late night cocktail under the lights.
It just hits different outside.
Great food, craft drinks, and plenty of space to kick back.
So grab your crew and claim your spot.
One North Kitchen and Bar, your table's waiting. Outside.
Let's go.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graf of Okemos. Spring is here, and so is good news for lease customers.
You got that right, Jack. Pretty exciting news, both at Nissan and Chevy. We have a lease pull ahead starting right now. So if you're bored with your lease, too many miles, close to too many miles, you just want to get out because of a high payment, bring it in. We'll get you out of your lease and get you into something more exciting.
Stop and see Matt and the gang at Graf of Okemos. They're making friends. Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob. Want to thank our next guest, waiting patiently. He is the pride of Flint, Michigan, and the Greek community. We're talking about James Hias, exceptionally well-known personal injury attorney in Lansing for many decades. Jim, I know how much you love the Detroit Tigers. And we are both young men, okay? We have a lot of years left. We're very vibrant. In our lifetimes, he's laughing already. He's laughing already. In our lifetimes, are we going to properly be able to refer to the Detroit Tigers as the world champions once again?
No.
Well, it's only been since 1984. Come on, they're due.
I hate to say it, but money talks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, some teams, like the Tampa Bay Rays, they draft well.
Yeah.
They build, and their payroll's not very big.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see Tampa Bay ever winning any championship either.
What about if next year there is a work stoppage or a lockout, and the owners say, we're going to impose a cap, and if you don't want to go along with it, then you can just sit, because we don't need to play baseball. You need the paycheck more than we need the concessions revenue and the TV money. We're all multimillionaires. And finally, we wind up with some sort of enforced parity here, where the Dodgers can't pay 7 times as much as the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, I think that would be good. I think that would be great. I don't know what I'd do every...
You'd be bored all summer, right? Yeah.
You know what's going on right now?
What's that?
I get my I get my choice of the World Cup or Wimbledon.
Yeah.
How scintillating.
You would be attending a lot more Michigan State basketball practices. I don't know if we'd get you to Moneyball. I'm not going to go that far. But you did have a chance to watch Michigan State, and you came away, I believe, with the impression that I had just watching these guys on their own. This may not be the best team Tom Izzo's had. That we will learn through the course of the season and the postseason. But I'm pretty confident that this is the deepest team he has had. He's going to have some hellacious practices.
I agree. It kind of reminds me of the depth we had on the 2000 championship team, where you had David Thomas and Chappelle, and you had Adam Bellinger, and you just had guys coming in off the bench that they could play. They could all play.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed yesterday.
I think back to the Judd Heathcote era, Jim, when Izzo was an assistant, and Jim Boylan from Marquette, and Jim Boylan with an A from Marquette, and Jim Boylan with an E, I believe, from Grand Rapids and Maine. They were on the coaching staff, and Judd could not have a practice without those guys on the floor, because they were the only guys who could be a scout team and give his 4 or 5 actual basketball players a look.
Those are the days.
Those are the days. Yeah,
no money.
Long time ago. What does it mean to you when we think about Dusty May? Now, this will be his 8th different coaching assignment in 22 seasons, and Tom Izzo has been in same place, I guess 2 different buildings, started in Jennison Fieldhouse and then Breslin Center, but, a few yards apart for 44 seasons. Think we'll ever see that again?
No. And the way things are going, the Tom Izzos of this world are dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
These college coaches, I mean, I don't know how they do it. They're recruiting. Tom was in Philadelphia Sunday looking at a kid, and he never stops doing that.
No.
Plus, at the end of the year, he's got to recruit his own players to stay.
That's right.
I mean, it's a terrible situation the NCAA has created.
And he had a 92-hour work week. Garrett Brenningstool kept track. This was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, 92 hours. And I said, it's a good thing it's the off season.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's not going to be another Tom Izzo.
When you look at where Michigan State is now, Jim, and you have seen the same number of presidents I have, you got here with John Hanna. He was here from 41 to 69. He was the first of the 15 MSU presidents that I have covered or dealt with. And the interim president, assuming Kevin Guskowitz does leave to go to Clemson, I don't believe he's actually signed anything yet. But if he does, then the interim will be 16 and the full-time president will be 17. That's a lot of turnover here. And you got kind of the same thing with athletic directors. Going to have 14 of them, 14 head football coaches. Thank God for basketball. We never have to worry about a coaching search.
Right. Well, hopefully Guskowitz will come to his senses.
Why do you say that? What would you tell him? What would you say to him if you want him to come to his senses?
Everything he's wanted, he's got.
Yeah.
They're going to give him $1 million raise.
Yeah.
He's thinking about going to an inferior university and taking an $800,000 pay cut.
Yeah.
And because a few resolutions aren't passed unanimously, it seems to get under his skin.
Yeah.
and I'm sure there are lots of things that I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense.
Does it make any sense to you, Jim, that Michigan State, Michigan, and Wayne State, the only three schools in the state that have elected boards, have 8 members of the board, which is just begging for a stalemate, 4-4. They have bizarre rules where if you live outside the state, doesn't matter who you are, Magic Johnson, or it wouldn't matter. You could not be a board member at Michigan State because you don't live in the state. And the election is done within the state, mostly by people who don't know the candidates, don't care about the candidates, and a lot of them vote straight party ticket. I mean, you could put Jeffrey Dahmer on one of these party tickets, and a lot of people wouldn't know. So you have that going for or against you. And then you have a situation with the parties and the people they nominate. Only 2 of the 8 MSU trustees have MSU degrees. 7 of the 8 Michigan regents have U of M degrees. But if you're trying to govern a university and you have people who aren't invested in it and maybe don't really fully understand it, and if you are a professor or instructor at another university and you're not, that's not your number one objective in life, you don't have any background to draw on, I don't know how that can be good governance.
I agree, but I don't know that the appointment procedure would be any better.
Yeah.
I do like your idea that you must be a graduate to run.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be impossible to monitor, but I also would like to see you must be a graduate to even vote.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't have it elected through the political parties in that system, and it was all done through the alumni associations, then you would control who gets ballots. And I'm not sure that you have to be a graduate. I mean, maybe you're a professor. Maybe you're a student on campus who hasn't graduated yet. But you ought to be able to find the union with a GPS. So,
something's got to.
Yeah.
Something's got to change. On the other hand,
yeah,
this board that we've got right now, I don't know the president, but he's allowed this board to get under his skin. And he does that even though he's received everything he's wanted.
Yeah. Well, in 26 months, he's done some pretty impressive things. I think the unification of the 3 medical schools, I think getting a new vision was, Spartan Ventures. I think that there are a lot of things that I have heard have gone on campus, some innovative thinking, some forward-looking leadership. And I think that eventually, if you play your cards right politically, you can neutralize or neuter the resistance. And, not to say that these people are going to run away from the positions. Obviously, they enjoy whatever role they think they have now. But I think you can certainly minimize the obstruction. And if you are winning tennis matches 6-2, 6-2, maybe you didn't win every game in both sets, but you won. And to me, that is the objective moving forward. If someone is always in the minority dissent role, I think people will start to see who they are. And I think we've got a lot of that in place now, and someone from each party. So I agree with you. Talking to people from other states, they think the appointed system is bad. People who have the elected system, there are only 3 other states. Michigan's kind of not quite half and half, but you have 3 other states that do have elected, and they don't like that. So if you don't like elected and you don't like appointed, then I think you have to find another way. And I think you need more than 8, maybe not as many as Penn State. Penn State has 38, Jim, on its governing board. So, you know, you have to hire a bigger banquet hall for their meetings. But nonetheless,
I think you can analogize Kevin Guskowitz's decision to the decision that Jeremy Fears had to make. Going to the NBA and going to Clemson doesn't make sense. Neither one of them made any sense.
Well, if he goes to Clemson, he's going to be dealing with Nikki Haley because she's on the Clemson board.
Right. And she may be the moderate.
Yeah. Imagine that. Yeah.
By the way, Jeremy Fears looked terrific yesterday.
Yeah. He looks bigger, too, doesn't he, in his upper body?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. What did you think of Anton Bonk?
Well, I thought I was pleasantly surprised by his athleticism.
Yeah.
Both he and Ethan Taylor can run the floor.
Yeah. Ethan Taylor is also a very good passer. He has a lot to learn. No question. There's a learning curve there. But you said that you thought the newcomers were all very impressive, and maybe the one who there wouldn't be room for is Julius Avent, who we had on the show last week. And he was terrific in the first week of Moneyball, and he doesn't intend to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. So.
He doesn't seem like he's as game ready as the other three.
Yeah, that could be. That's an experience thing. And I remember some other guys like that. I'll never forget the story with Heathcote. And every year, Jim, the first practice of the season in Jenison, I used to love this. Doug Weaver would show up. And Doug would come over, and he would always ask Judd the same question. How are we going to be this year, Coach? We're going to win them all? And Judd would give him some disparaging remark. And that year, Doug came over, and he said, I want to see Jesse Hall. Where's Jesse Hall? And he'd heard all about this All-America guard from East St. Louis, and the heralded guy. And Judd kind of made a face, and he said, see that skinny kid under the basket? That's my next great player. And Doug Weaver had no idea who he was, and then he met Steve Smith.
Right. There was an Asian couple that sat right in front of me in Jenison, and she every game I put in Jesse Hall, and of course he never hardly ever saw any playing time.
Yeah.
He came in with a lot of hype, but no, he didn't cut it.
Another guy who didn't see a lot of playing time early on in his career at Michigan State was Kirk Mans. And I'll never forget the night, and Kirk Mans could really shoot it. I mean, he could stroke it. You know, you're talking about Bryn Forbes and Sean Rushbert, and Kirk Mans is in that club, right? Maybe Scott Skiles. Yep. So Mans goes off for 40 off the bench against Purdue in Jenison. And so I'm getting down. You know, we used to sit in that suspended gondola thing. So I worked my way down, and you know, it was like at Jenison where you had to go all the way around the bleachers to come back to the locker room. So I'm down there in the last minute of the game, and I see Mrs. Mans, and she's standing at the door to the locker room. I said, this is going to be good, right? So she and Judd weren't seeing eye to eye on Kirk's playing time. So sure enough, the game ends, and Michigan State celebrates, and they run off the court, and then Judd is lumbering toward the locker room, and he looks up, and he sees Kirk Mans' mom. And Judd said, your kid played well tonight. And Mrs. Mans said, he'd do that every game if you played him. And to me, that I've never seen a parent make Judd Heathcote speechless, but that was it.
Right.
That was it. Jim, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. What's your final score tonight? Yankees and Tigers. Who wins?
3-2.
3-2. I said who wins? Yankees. Okay.
Yankees.
Okay. Well, Tarek Skubal. Another game without a win.
Tarek Skubal might have a nice game tonight, but I think our bullpen's pathetic right now.
Yeah. No truth to the rumor that you're going to fly to New York and try to pitch the ninth, right?
No, that's not true.
I said the same thing to Jim Cotter, and he's not going to do it
But
either.
But I am going to go to New York because Cassie and I were invited to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding. I understand is taking place in Madison Square Garden.
It is. I figured you'd be there for something like that. They don't have events like that without you showing up. Yeah. All right, Jim. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. We will be right back. Rob, we're going to talk with Chase Michelson from Circus Sports in Las Vegas. We'll talk a little baseball, but this is the week we've been waiting for. He has his college football over-unders. So we'll be able to find out what he thinks, and he has waited. He hasn't jumped the gun on this. He does all of these projections, right? And so he's been trying to get the last information. He's got a lot of other numbers to look at. And then we're going to be joined at the end of the show by Mo Gerhart. If you don't know Mo, such an inspirational story. He is as true a Spartan as you will ever find. He's been doing MSU women's basketball broadcasts for a long time, right? Going back multiple coaches. We'll talk a little bit about MSU women's basketball and about his candidacy for the Board of Trustees. And he is trying to get on the ballot. A lot of people are talking about Mo Gerhart. We'll be right back on The Drive with Jack.
Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our team of school bus drivers and attendants. Visit deanjobs.com to see all openings. Dean Transportation provides paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license, increased starting pay, comprehensive benefits, and flexible schedules with no weekend shifts. No experience needed. Apply today at deanjobs.com and train for back to school season. That's DEAN jobs.com.
Jeremy, what's the move when the kids say they're bored?
Easy. Family fun night every Tuesday at 1 North.
Free kids meal with every entree, so dinner is handled.
And we're not just talking crayons and paper menus.
Nope. We've got Battleship, Uno, all the table game classics.
Plus, all the big stuff, Amy. Giant Yahtzee, Connect 4. It's basically game night leveled up.
Kids stay entertained. Parents actually get to relax. It's a win-win.
Great food, family vibes, and a little friendly competition.
Family fun night at 1 North Kitchen and Bar.
Come hungry and ready to play.
Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graph of Okemos. Spring is here, and so is good news for lease customers.
You got that right, Jack. Pretty exciting news, both at Nissan and Chevy. We have a lease pull-ahead starting right now. So if you're bored with your lease, too many miles, close to too many miles, you just want to get out because of a high payment, bring it in. We'll get you out of your lease and get you into something more exciting.
Stop and see Matt and the gang at Graph of Okemos. They're making friends.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob. We are in studio today. You can watch us on YouTube. Follow along. You can subscribe, and you'll have notifications every time we are in the studio, which we will be again, or I will be. Rob is here every day, but I will be again on Thursday. And look forward to seeing many of you then, but want to go out to Las Vegas and welcome in Chase Michelson from Circa Sports, one of the nation's leading young odds makers. And Chase, before we get into the college football scene and the over-unders that I have been waiting for so long, I have to ask you about two other things. Let's start with the World Cup. And what has surprised you so far? And give me your top 3 teams at this point.
What surprised me so far? Well, the U.S., of course, we talked about that last week. Obviously, it played really well, and definitely helped interest.
And you didn't expect that? You didn't think that would happen?
Not to this degree.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I thought the first 2 games against a Paraguay team that we now see is capable of knocking out 4-time world champions Germany.
That win looks better.
That certainly looks better. And then Australia, the Turkey game, I don't count as much because it's a rotated team. I'm not super worried about that either way. I would say 39-year-old Lionel Messi still looking like the best player in the world.
Yeah,
that surprised me. Not that I'm in the habit of doubting Lionel Messi in general, but I think there was probably people felt that he's playing in MLS now. So not necessarily playing in the elite, Spanish or French leagues anymore, that there might be a little bit of a different phase to his career. And instead, he's been like maybe the best player in the tournament. So that has surprised me. So as far as the best teams, this is boring, but I think France, Argentina, and Spain are probably the 3 best teams that I've seen so far. And Argentina in particular has a very favorable route to the final.
Yeah.
If it so comes to pass.
What would it say about Messi if he can lead Argentina to another cup? Is this Tom Brady-esque?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even. We've gone past the I listened to a soccer podcast where they've been making a joke out of the idea of people saying, we've run out of things to say about Lionel Messi. Like, we ran out of things to say about Lionel Messi 12 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, for people that kind of plug into this stuff every 4 years, he's the best player of all time. I don't even really think it's a dispute anymore. It's such a ridiculous run, the fact that he's doing it now at this age in a sport that, not that, American football isn't the same way in some ways, but obviously quarterbacks are protected and things like that. Yeah. So you can understand how somebody can play later into their career at the quarterback position. It's not necessarily physically demanding in the same way, obviously very mentally challenging. But to do this at this age in soccer, which is just really the ultimate, young man's sport, in soccer, a lot of times if a guy is 30, it's like, okay, well, we got to, like at the top level, like, okay, we got to think about kind of winding things down and figuring out a succession plan here.
Right.
Even the elite players. And he's doing it at 39. So it's just totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see anything like it.
He is 14 years older than Erling Haaland. Would you say that Haaland is the second best player in the world now, or just the second leading scorer in the World Cup?
Kylian Mbappe is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Kylian Mbappe's had the World Cup pedigree, playing for a big nation like France. And Mbappe won the World Cup as a teenager, I think it was, right? 2018. And then hat trick in the World Cup final 4 years later, in the loss, obviously, to Messi's Argentina on penalties. Hasn't had the pedigree in the club game as much. Haaland is a brilliant goal scorer. He is a little bit more one-dimensional. Now, scoring goals is very important, obviously. But I think the criticism people have of Haaland is that in games where he doesn't score, he doesn't impact the game as much. But, I mean, you're splitting hairs here. I mean, Haaland's the best, in my opinion, the best striker in the world in terms of just purely putting the ball in the net. I guess Harry Kane would probably have a claim to that too. But watching the Premier League as much as I do, it's the league I watch by far the most.
Yeah. And
Erling Haaland is the boogeyman. In his 4 years at Man City, he scored, I think, like 130-something goals. So it's just totally ridiculous.
All right. Last soccer question, and then we're going to switch football types here. Let's say we get to a World Cup final, and it is, I don't know if they're on the same side of the bracket or not. Maybe they are. But you have a France versus Argentina match.
Yeah, that is possible, I believe.
Okay, and France wins 3-1, and Mbappe scores 3 times. Are you then prepared with the Golden Boot and beyond to say that Kylian Mbappe is the best player in the world?
Well, I think he has a claim to that right now. Currently, again, it is complicated in soccer because Messi plays in MLS, so the level of competition's lower. Mbappe's playing for Real Madrid, which is the biggest club in the world, but he's been disappointing. The 2 years that he's been there, now he's scored a ton of goals, but they haven't won things, which is rare for them.
Yeah.
So certainly from an international perspective, Mbappe's already, Mbappe's going to eventually just pass Messi and be the leading World Cup goal scorer of all time. I don't think there's any, barring injury, I don't think there's really any doubt about that. So I think, probably, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is different sometimes with the differences between the international and the club game, but if that happens, Mbappe will end up winning the Ballon d'Or, which is the award for the best player in the world. That will, And in a World Cup year, it almost always goes to the standout player of the World Cup.
All right, let's say Messi leads Argentina to the World Cup, and as you say, has maybe an easier path than some other nations would have. Would you compare that at all to what LeBron James could do if he goes to Golden State and leads a play-in team last year to the World Championship, becomes the first player to win NBA titles with 4 different franchises, and hits a game-winning shot in Game 7?
Something like that. That would be more surprising than Argentina.
Yeah.
For sure. Argentina is still one of the favorites.
All right. Talking about surprises, just saw the Yankees beat the Tigers twice in Comerica Park. And then they head back east, go to Fenway Park, and get beat 4 times by Rob's Red Sox. Then go home last night and get booed by the faithless at Yankee Stadium when the Tigers took a 7-0 lead and the Yankees stumbling around, looked like they didn't really want to be there. Is this more than injuries?
Well, it's a historic run. I mean, they're batting .098 as a team in the last 5 games. I mean, they're averaging, getting their first hit of the game in, the 5th or 6th inning.
Rob is saying yes.
Putting up a historic number of errors as well.
Yeah.
They have some crazy number of unearned runs in the last 5 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wasn't expecting this. If that answers your question. I mean, no, but it's baseball, and I do think that things will look a lot different and better if they get their players back healthy. I'm still relatively confident about the Yankees long term, but you got to ride it out. I mean, the crazy stat. The crazy stat is I saw that since COVID, the Yankees are 1-17 at Fenway Park in the month of June.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what I would say is maybe let's make it a little fair. How about we schedule some series outside of June?
All right, let's say we wind up with an ALCS with the Yankees and the Rays. Let's say, it doesn't really matter who finishes first and wins the division, but those are the 2 teams. One is a division champ, the other is a wild card, and they meet in the ALCS. But Tampa Bay has acquired Tarik Skubal. Who wins? Who gets to face the Dodgers in the World Series?
The Yankees would still be a pretty
Still be the
prohibitive
favorite.
favorite. I think it does matter who has home field because Tampa's not a very good road team. Tampa's under 500 on the road.
Okay.
So, while the Yankees had a bad 4 games, not disputing that, in Boston, they are still overall a very good road team.
Yeah.
So I think that Tampa would really want that home field in that situation. I think the Yankees will be a pretty significant favorite against anybody in the American League as long as they get, particularly obviously Aaron Judge, but Max Fried, Giancarlo Stanton, Trent Grisham. If those guys are back in the lineup, ready and firing, they're the best team in the American League. Now, I don't know if that's really. I think it says more about the American League than it does about the Yankees. I feel like I've been clear. I've been consistent with this all season.
You have.
I don't think the Yankees are that good. I think the American League's terrible.
Yeah.
Historically bad there's only a few teams that have positive run differentials.
Right.
The team that I think people thought was maybe the second best team in the American League, which is the Mariners, just set their own record. I don't know if you saw this, Jack. The most consecutive games scoring 3 runs or less for a team in a league with a designated hitter. So since 1973.
How many games?
I think it was 14 straight games scoring 3 or less runs.
The Royals, I think, were at 13 or 14 at one point, too. But maybe the Mariners have passed them. What happens tonight, Chase, with Tarek Skubal on the mound against Cam Schlittler? Who wins?
I can tell you that it involves not a lot of runs expected. For a game in Yankee Stadium, which is obviously a pitcher's park, to have a total of 7, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, hitter's park, I should say. I said
Hitter's Park.
I meant hitter's park. I'm saying that a total of 7 is pretty low for a game in Yankee Stadium. So, I'm maybe expecting a hit or 2. I think if the Yankees get 2 hits in the first 3 innings, I'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
Thrilled.
Give me a final score.
3-1 Tigers.
Whoa. Okay. Well, it's fitting that the Yankees fan, this is like talking to Red Sox fans. Yankees fan is picking the Tigers after all the Tigers fans are picking the Yankees.
I want to ask Rob, is Rob back? Is Rob back in?
What do you think, Rob? You ready to make a run here?
Are they going to make a run? The Red Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah, they swept
I don't
Yankees
think so.
Won last night.
I don't
Going to hang on to Aroldis Chapman and try to get into the wild card?
I don't think they'll make a run. No.
Buy at the deadline?
What's that?
No? Okay. All right.
Not going to buy at the deadline?
Buy at the deadline? Go all in?
You're not that far out.
No, I know. 4.5 games, Jack. So I'm aware.
They got a wild card team in the American League right now.
I'm
with a
aware.
losing record.
I'm aware. But I just don't think they got the horses, injuries. I'm going to say they're going to stay pat at the deadline. How's that?
Okay. All right. I have to ask you, Chase, about college football, the over-unders. I've been waiting for these, and you said this is the week, right?
They're out. We put them out, when did we put them out? Last Friday or something like that?
How many teams have an over-under greater than 10?
Oh, not that many.
Any?
Notre Dame.
Okay.
I think Indiana.
How about Miami?
Miami, 10.5 over -15. You know what surprised me when I went through this and did the exercise and saw what was out there was Ohio State. Ohio State. Now it's heavy overjuice, but it is 9.5. 9.5 over -80, which got to be the lowest Ohio State number in a long time.
Well, they're counting on a loss to Texas, right?
It's about the schedule, right? It's about Texas, and it's about Oregon, and it's about Michigan, and it's about Indiana. It's a very, very challenging game. So if Ohio State wins 10 games, they're in the playoff.
Yeah. Ohio State playing Michigan in Columbus, where it's lost the last 2 times they have met there. So that's part of it. What about the Michigan over-under? What can you tell us?
So we talked about this yesterday or last week. That you had seen some 7.5 and seen some 8.5. So I kind of went through, did my process. It ended up with we wanted to use a version of 8.5. Now it's heavy under juice. It's 8.5 under -70. So if they win, if you want to bet on Michigan to win 9 games, you get plus 150, meaning a dollar bet wins you your dollar back plus 50 cents.
Yeah.
You know, 9 games is asking a lot, probably just with the schedule for Michigan. It's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we ended up.
Yeah, they are at Ohio State and they are at Oregon, but they play Indiana and Oklahoma at home. Do you think that they'll be underdogs in all 4 of those games? I think they're currently a favorite against Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be favored against Oklahoma. I think they'll probably be. I mean, obviously, it depends what happens, where things are. I anticipate them probably being a small dog against Indiana. But even if they are a favorite, like when you look at this stuff from a probability standpoint, especially when you're taking a long view of it, being a 2-point favorite, being a 2-point dog, it's not a huge difference in terms of when you're doing season wins. Like if you say, okay, well, this team has a 53% chance of winning this game, or they have a 47% chance of winning this game, or whatever, you know, that's really not a huge difference, because what you do is you take all of those and you add them up, and that gets you your sort of expected number, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's a much bigger deal to have more games where you're double-digit favorites than whether you're a 2-point favorite or a 2-point dog in whatever given game.
All right, last question for you. We talked a little bit about Michigan and Michigan State last week, but what's the juice on the Spartans, and what number did you come up with?
We have 4.5 under -140. So similar thing, to get to 5 wins, you get plus money, if you're interested in that. But, you know, it's probably just a similar concept to Michigan, just on a lower level. Obviously, a lot of uncertainty with Michigan State. Anytime there's a coaching change and a sort of regime change and things like that, that exists, particularly at teams that aren't at the top level. So, you know, I mean, situations like this, a lot of times I'll put in the notes for the guys that are booking it during the day. I'll say things like, you know, I don't have as much confidence in this number as I do in this number. So be more aggressive on this team than on this team, because there's some teams that I feel much stronger about, you know, that I really feel like, you know, I really like our side of the market. Other teams that I don't necessarily have a great feel for, I would count Michigan State as one of those. If Michigan State made a bowl game, would that shock me? No. But, you know, there's not necessarily, the problem for Michigan State is because they play in a difficult conference, you just don't have the slam dunk games. Right?
Well, they don't play Ohio State and they don't play Indiana, so that helps.
Which is helpful, but like,
because those would be considered to be automatic losses, right?
Yeah. It helps, but the problem is there's just not a lot of automatic wins.
Right.
You know, when you have a team that's in a difficult conference where you don't really have any idea what the level of the team is. I mean, obviously you saw the last year, you know, what the bottom falling out can look like. Or but the bottom falling out was my freshman year. 3-9 coming off a college football playoff appearance. I was thrilled.
Yeah, that was you.
Always had to win over Furman.
That's right. Well, see, you went to the game in 2015, and when you showed up on campus, look what happened. Chase, enjoy.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Enjoy the Yankees-Tigers tonight, and maybe Ben Rice can get a hit off Derek Skubal.
Yeah, Ben Rice is struggling. So
he is.
He figures it out.
He is. Yeah. And Jim Rice instead. Thanks so much, Chase. We're going to stay right here, Rob, and welcome in Mo Gerhart. And many of you know Mo, even if you don't actually know him. If you've never met him, you've certainly seen him. He's a fixture on campus. You see him at women's basketball games, scores table. He's done announcing there, broadcasting of games in the past. And moving forward, we got a lot to talk about, Mo. Let's start with MSU women's hoops. And a lot of new faces. Lily Williams, I had a chance to watch her block, I want to say 7 shots against Belleville, a team that had been ranked number 1 in the nation. And she's going to do a lot of great things. I think she's the best shot blocker here since Alyssa DeHaan, but also some newcomers, a couple of foreign players, French players, a transfer who'd been Miss Basketball. What can we expect from Robin Freilic's team?
Hey, Jack. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot of new faces coming in, as you mentioned. The one thing that's been missing from this team, and I mean, you can go back a decade, the they've just been really weak at the post. And as you mentioned, all of a sudden that just gets flipped in the other direction, where Michigan State's finally going to have a reliable post game. Not to mention they still have Aita Alexander, who's been fighting injuries her whole career.
Right.
But now she can, they can monitor her minutes a little bit more. She's not the only post player. I'm excited to really see what that brings, and also sort of a new defensive style for Robin.
Mo, when people say, what does that guy do? We see him around. We see him with that motorized chair moving everywhere and on top of stuff. But can you tell us a little bit about businesses? And you got a very exciting new venture, right?
Yeah, I've got lots going on. So, MSU has always been in my blood. Both my parents were alums, so, grew up with MSU wallpaper literally in my bedroom. Had to get that special ordered, so definitely got that up. But, so as far as my disability, I was born with a form of muscular dystrophy. I was diagnosed when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So pretty much, my whole life, that's all I've known is, having my disability.
Right.
And even prior to that diagnosis, I knew I was having difficulties. So that's nothing new, but fortunately I've had a huge, support system, a huge army of backers on my side that have always pushed me to be able to do anything and everything that I've tried and desired to do. And so Michigan State was always number 1 on that sort of dartboard as far as being able to attend. So came here as a freshman in the fall of '96. Got my bachelor's from Business College from Broad, straight on to my master's program, got my master's from the College of Ed, and then found my way right back onto the campus working full-time as an academic advisor. So everything that my career has evolved around has been MSU, which has sort of led me to this point where we're at right now. You mentioned the newest business sort of experience that I've been doing here, and on March 1st, I opened what's known as Every Spartan, and we have the distinction of being the very first NCAA licensed apparel company that offers both traditional and adaptive apparel side by side. So that's been a great honor. MSU's been great to work with within the licensing and trademark division. And the exciting thing is I've already had schools across the country from Arizona to Maryland reach out about doing the same thing with their program. So it's been great and exciting.
Well, the apparel looks great, Rob. I had a chance to check it out last night. I kept my credit card in my pocket, but it was certainly a lot of great-looking stuff, and some I think that Jay Green might wind up sporting around town at some point. He's kind of our fashion model for this show. But when you talk about green blood, Mo, and knowing the university so many ways, you got here, as you say, in the fall of '96, you and Mateen Cleaves, right?
Yep, yeah, honestly, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm still in contact a little bit with Machine here and there. We have some classes together, and actually, as a freshman, those first couple of months, I actually initially tried out as a student manager for the men's basketball team. So, got to know him there. I eventually found my way over to sports information, or what's now sports communication.
Right,
but it's just been a great journey.
So what do you tell people, Mo, when they know of your passion for Michigan State and maybe they don't understand what's going on here? They see so many great people, so many accomplishments from the university, but so much self-defeating behavior. How do you explain Michigan State to them?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head right there when you said there's quality people. That's what separates Michigan State from other schools. And I've always been honored to be able to say that I'm a Michigan State grad, an MSU alum, that my career has been spent on campus. Yeah. But what we're seeing right now is actually an extension of what's been going on now for a good decade. Yeah. As far as the board itself, there's just so much unrest, discontent, politicking. That's a huge thing that I think is the number one issue with the board, is that politics supersede the people on campus. Yeah. And what I think the board forgets, and I always preached this when I was working on campus, MSU is nothing without the students. Yeah. Without students, there is no MSU. Right. And that sort of has been lost, in my opinion, with the board.
Yeah, and some people have said that the S, standing for state, could also stand for students, because, as you say, that is the purpose of this place. It's not just a research institution. It is a breeding ground for future leaders. And right now you wonder about some of the leadership. We have had so many presidents, directors of athletics, deans. It's been kind of a revolving door here. And for people who are committed, like yourself, when you see this, you wonder how you can help. And you have taken the next step. I don't know if you can declare yourself a candidate for any open position in the administration, but you certainly can as far as the governing body, and you can run for the Board of Trustees, which you are doing. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what your candidacy might look like?
Yeah, for sure. So I am running as an independent right now. In order for that to happen and to be on the ballot from November 3rd, I need 12,000 signatures, and the deadline is July 16th. So we've only been at this for a little over a week. I've already accumulated over 2,000, but that's still 10,000 more to go. Yeah. And in 2 more weeks time. So this cannot be a virtual signature. These are not like the virtual petitions that we see go around.
Actual autographs.
These are actual, correct, actual autographs on actual petitions. But what I want people to know is they have another choice. This campaign doesn't have to be about left versus right. To me, it's about Michigan State, and that's all it's ever going to be about. That's going to be not going to be, but that is my platform. I'm here for the students, for the alumni, for the faculty, staff on campus. And I think that's also another contingency that really gets overlooked as far as the hard work that they put in day in and day out to be there for the students. And so faculty, staff, I'm going to have their back. This is a time for change. We've heard that before in politics, but I wanted to get that word politics just out of it. I want people on that board that are Spartans. It's ridiculous that we have people on the Board of Trustees that literally have zero connection to the university.
Yeah. Only 2 alums, right, out of the 8?
Exactly. So to me, that's just insane in itself.
Yeah. What was your degree, Mo?
Yeah, so my undergrad was in business administration. I had a specialization in accounting, and then my master's degree is through the College of Ed, but that's actually in athletic administration. Mm-hmm. So that's also a unique perspective that I bring. My professional career on campus was spent both within academics and athletics, and you don't get that very often. I loved my time when I was working within the College of Natural Sciences. Mm-hmm. Still have a bunch of friends that I've made there that are lifelong, colleagues there. And then with athletics, once again, I was able to blend those two, whether it was with the Smith Center, whether it was with the women's basketball team being their academic coordinator, and then I was also the liaison for the Student Athlete Support Services for the whole College of Natural Sciences. So like I said, my background, it does touch, from Hagedorn to Harrison, from Grand River to Jolly. It's I'm a Spartan through and through.
Mo, I might be a little biased on this, but that's what happens when you have close to 300 academic credits at the university. So I think I can understand this a little bit, having been here since 1969. This is a great place, but it's not an easy place. It's not a place where everything just falls in your lap. People have to work to make it happen. And when they do, that success is even more meaningful. When you look at what Michigan State is capable of being, what do you tell people? What's your vision for what Michigan State's future can be?
Yeah, well, first of all, everything you just described, doesn't that epitomize Tom Izzo? Isn't that basically the core description of Tom Izzo? That seemed to a T, or to an X, you should say, as a Spartan. But, what I feel is, I spent my whole career helping people, whether it was with advising students, working alongside coaches, administrators, or even advocating for accessibility on campus. One thing I've always been able to do is I've always been able to bring people together rather than divide them.
Yeah.
And that, once again, is what a person on this board needs to be doing right now. As far as those challenges, though, once again, that fits with the land grant university philosophy. That's one of the things I've always loved about Michigan State. We're not serving just to be elitist. We want to be able to cover everyone, and I really feel my experiences have touched on that, and I have a lot to offer, some different perspectives of what's been on the board, and that's really my number one goal at this point. I have the time to be able to commit to this right now, and it works out where, now's the time for that independent to be able to cross off the R or the D and instead just make it about MSU.
Yeah. Mo, when you think about the dysfunction that Michigan State has had, and we've certainly seen plenty of that, you have dealt with difficult times. You talked about the physical challenges since you were 8. Have those helped you? Have those toughened you? This is not a place for soft people. Have those challenges made you better able to cope with adversity?
Without a doubt. And they've made me see things from different perspectives, too. In 2019, health-wise, that was probably the lowest point in my life. And I actually had a respiratory situation that occurred, and I wasn't physically able to speak for 2 years. I had to go through tons of rehab and therapy and training to be able to get this voice back that you're hearing right now. And one of the things that taught me, though, it was interesting. When you're not able to talk, one thing that you learn is how to listen. And that's a skill set that lots of people don't have. And for me, it was sort of forced upon me, but it's been a huge asset for me. It's also one thing when you have a disability, you learn early on how to ask for help or how to ask others for assistance. And that can be sort of a lost trace in society. And people can get a little bit self-centered. And that's something that my disability taught me, that the general public out there, people want to do good. Yes, we see a lot of the bad that's really publicized, but the majority out there, even if it's silent sometimes, is the good.
We're talking with lifelong Spartan and MSU trustee candidate, independent candidate, Mo Gerhart. Mo, no one can ever call you naive or simple. You understand the way this works. You know the difficulty of running as an independent. I don't know anyone who has ever been on the board as an independent. I know that a lot of people vote straight party tickets, and the R's and the D's get in, and people can't even tell you who they voted for, but they just voted, pushed one button or one line on the ballot. That was it. So how do you tell people that, even people who are impressed with you, that it's not a waste of their effort or their vote to vote for an independent?
Right. I mean, right now, as I mentioned a couple times, it's the battle is getting those 12,000 signatures to be able to be on that ballot. So that's priority number one. But then beyond that, that's where I really think, trading a team that's going to be able to get my message out there, that's where I have the human resources to be able to spread that message across the state. And I think one of the biggest lessons learned was, just a couple of weeks ago when Tom Izzo came out and said, this is the time for the 600,000 alumni across the United States to be able to step up and make their voices heard. And that's what my campaign is going to be about. So even though those 600,000, those are across the country and they all don't have voting power, they can still help carry that message and make sure that voters in Michigan are then able to see my worth and able to see the benefit of bringing somebody on board that's actually there for the full purpose of being able to help this university.
If someone wants to find out more about you, about your candidacy, about your purpose with this, what do they do?
Yeah, right now, social media is my number one sort of campaign route at this point. So on Facebook, on Twitter or X, LinkedIn, everything that my handle on those three are just straight Mo Gerhart. It's MOGERHARG as in dog, G as in Tom. And then on Instagram, somebody else somehow has already grabbed that. So my middle name is Fox, just like the animal. So on Instagram, it's Mo Fox Gerhart.
Mo Fox Gerhart. Okay, GERHARDT, right?
Correct. And then also I have the email set up right now, Mo for MSU at gmail.com. That's the word for, so MOFOR at gmail.com.
And if someone would like to sign a petition for you, where will they see you over the 4th of July weekend?
Yeah, so I actually just gotten some support. We're going to be at some of the 4th of July festivities downtown, Lansing, around, help me out here, what's the Lugnut Stadium? Now the official name?
Jackson Field.
Jackson Field, thank you. Yep, we're going to be around Jackson Field. I've also, I've got another signing that's going to be going up in Traverse City on this Thursday. I'm working with Grand Rapids alumni to get something set up there. But as far as here in the Lansing, right around, like I said, Jackson Field, 4th of July, we're going to be patrolling there and also hitting the local farmers market this weekend in Meridian Township and also the East Lansing.
A lot of fireworks displays around the state, and maybe you can make some fireworks. Maybe we can have momentum, Rob.
Yes. But there's lots of, there's lots of things that we can do with that. It's definitely a name that lends itself to some slogans, to say the least. But, like I said, for anyone out there who's listening that would like to help me qualify to get on the ballot, I'm always looking for more volunteers across the whole state to be able to collect those signatures. Because literally right now we are working against the clock, and this is going to be a 100% grassroots effort.
Right. Well, good luck to you. I have a lot of confidence in what you're capable of doing and the motivation there, and you don't have to worry about Mo Gerhart checking his ego at the door. He's in it for the right reasons. I want to thank all of our guests today, Rob, starting with my best friend, Marty Makinen in Bethesda, Maryland. I hadn't seen any games. I can't believe Marty Makinen hasn't seen any baseball games this year. He's a season ticket holder, as we mentioned, to the Nats and flies in for Tigers games a lot. But maybe that will be in August. Tom Crawford, Bluebelly Tom, my broadcast partner for more than 24 years. 1 month from today, We will be finishing up Big Ten Media Days, the Big Ten kickoff in Chicago, and then college football will be upon us. Practice will be starting. It won't be long before Michigan State will be hosting Toledo on September 4th and Michigan the following night against Western Michigan. Jim Hias, a lifelong Spartan, personal injury attorney, diehard Tigers fan, MSU basketball fan, Case Michelson from Circa, and Mo Gerhardt. Have a great night, everyone.